Welcome everybody to another episode of Danny Loves Movies. I am your host, Danny Till. My next guest is he's a great guy, and he and I have always gotten along super well, and he's just crushing it left and right. And full disclosure, I don't know why he wants to do my show, but I'm glad he's here. Please welcome Patrick Eley. Patrick, how you doing, buddy?
Thanks for having me. I'm good. I want to do the show because you're the man.
Oh man, you're the fucking best.
You don't get enough. You don't get enough props.
Yeah, you know what? I really appreciate that. And I like to start off every episode with my guest. I have an idea of where we met, but do you, in your recollection, do you know where we met, or do you have an idea of it?
I'm sure we met, like in the Sacramento open mic scene, and then somehow, I think I probably started following you on social media, or you did, and you were always posting interesting stuff.
Yeah.
And I feel like we've had as many, if not more, conversations over text,
Right.
as we have in person.
Yeah.
Because I probably, see you once every 6 weeks, 2 months,
yeah,
or something
that-
in person. I pop in and...
Yeah. Because I'm thinking, like, I think the first time we probably met was, if I'm doing my math right, it was probably just because I have, like, photographic evidence, because this is, like, when I was, like, getting paid to take pictures of every comic I was performing. So if I do my math right, October 2022 in Henry's Lounge in Midtown Sac, same night, I think, that I first met Lexi Acanelli, and that was, like, when she was, like, early off, and now she's 3.5 years later just crushing.
Sounds about right. I was in Henry's all the time.
Yeah. And then like every guest I know have who's a comic, like I'm curious, like where did your stand-up journey start? Like was there a time where somebody noticed, like, hey dude, you're kind of funny, why don't you try this? Or like where did your relationship with stand-up and comedy in general start?
I always liked stand-up, but I never thought about being a comic. And I had a buddy that I had been really good friends with in college, but that was 20 years ago,
Right.
a little less at the time. We kind of kept in touch, but not too well. And he basically had a dream. And apparently he had had a number of dreams in his life that were pretty accurate concerning people's careers and stuff. And he reached out to me and asked if there was something I did talking into a microphone. And we brainstormed a little bit, and he had said, I think you might want to try stand-up. And I was like, what? Because I'm a relatively quiet guy. My friend group here, outside of comedy, they joked, I'm the least funny one of the guys. What am I doing stand-up?
Right.
But I took him kind of seriously, and it was during COVID where there was more downtime than normal, and started writing jokes in a notebook. And then my girlfriend at the time found the notebook one day and said, what is this? I said, I'm writing jokes. And she laughed, said, you're writing jokes? And then maybe right then, maybe the next day, but she was basically like, you're a pussy if you don't go get on a stage and do some of these jokes, all this time you've wasted. And so I did that. And my first open mic, somebody from the Stockton scene who had been doing it for a while came up and asked how long I'd been doing it, and was surprised when I said this is my first time, and then asked me if I wanted to come do a guest spot on a show.
Right.
Just went from there.
Yeah, and it's just crazy, like how, like, where you've achieved so far in that span of time. Because I see what you're posting, like where you're hitting, what, because you've done Comedy Store, and I know you've done Mothership as well already, right?
Yes.
And obviously, like, I know who you open for, and again, like, if you want to talk about that, you're more than welcome to. Like, I just don't want to, like, have it promote, like, oh, hey, my buddy, you, because again, like, when you and I talk, like, it's rarely about, like, what's about your hitting. It's usually just like, hey man, how you doing, like, what's going on in life, blah 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 blah,
which is great, and that's what I like. So I've always appreciated and respected that about you, because I know you can appreciate some of the stuff I've been getting into with comedy.
Yeah,
but I don't want to talk about that all the time.
Yeah, because I think also, because obviously, again, like, you're probably, like, super grateful and you're happy, and obviously, and again, it's a grind, it's a journey, and you're killing it, but at the same time, like, I'm sure, like, you probably have people who just who are not within this world, who are just like, that's all they find interesting about what it is you're doing, and that's all they want to talk about with you. But it's like, I like other stuff, and obviously, yes, I'm very proud of what I've accomplished, but it's like, I want to, it's like, this is not like my one thing I want to have like written on my chest.
And I've found that a lot of people that approach it like that really have no idea what it's actually like. Mm-hmm. And so it's not a fruitful conversation with me because they can't understand.
Right.
They just think it's all the greatest stuff in the world. And it is great.
Yeah.
I'm being really vague. I've gotten to do a lot of cool stuff. Right now, I've been doing some featuring for James McCann on his ongoing tour.
Right.
Because I finished up his tour last year, and we're about to start a brand new one this year in May. But once with anything, I found this in fighting and anything that I've done, when you're first starting, you think, if I just get here, everything will be cool and I'll be satisfied and this and that. And once you get to kind of where you thought it was really at, you realize, oh, I'm not really there yet. Right. In terms of, so for me, like, I want to make a lot of money.
Sure.
I want a lot of freedom when it comes to stand up. I want to be able to sell out clubs with my name when it's time and I deserve it. And I want to have right now, generally speaking, and I'm headlining, I think, 3 or 4 shows this month. But generally speaking, I've got, let's say, 20 or 25 or 30 minutes to talk.
Right.
And I'd like to talk about stuff that takes longer than that.
Sure.
But when I'm being paid to talk for 25 minutes, I want to make sure that they're getting the goods and everything I say is funny and I'm not experimenting a whole lot. And so as I've gotten into it and gotten a handle on what stand-up is for me, it's opened my eyes to, I'm not going to feel right until I get to do this and this and this. Yeah, that's how I feel about that. And there's so much other stuff to life, and so much time gets spent talking about stand-up when you're actually doing it, and you're with the people that you're working for or working with. That I got other things to. None of my jokes come from stand-up.
Right.
They come from life, and then I turn them into stand-up.
Yeah. Yeah, because and the reason why, and then that's one of the reasons why, like when you tell me, like, hey, I want to do your show, just because, like, again, like, I know who you open for, I know who you've worked with, like, obviously you've shown me your phone, so it's like, here's the people who I talk to, so part of me's just like, I don't know why he wants to do my show, but I'm glad he's coming on, and again, like that, and like I said earlier, it's like, it's because you and I talk, it's not about that, it's about other stuff, because obviously, like I said, like, and you've talked about how, like, hey, I'm glad I'm doing what I'm doing, but at the same time, I sure you appreciate, like, anybody else who's, like, slowly rising, like, just having a normal conversation about just everyday life, because you're doing that doesn't mean that's all you're about. And I know you also, so what exactly type of martial arts do you do? Like, do you do jiu-jitsu or do you other type? MMA, okay.
Jiu-jitsu's in there.
Yeah, because the reason why I didn't want to, like, say, just 'cause obviously, like, there are many variations and divisions into what type of martial arts there is out there.
Yeah.
And obviously, like, and I know who you train with, and obviously, are you spar with? Because I just don't want to. If you want to talk about it, you can, but I just don't want to, like, say it out there. But, like, did you get into martial arts in general, like, when you were a kid, or was it something like when you got older?
I got into fighting when I was a kid.
And then was that something where, like, were you someone that got into a lot of fights in school? Yeah, because, like, I got into a handful. Like, I'll just say, like, I remember one. This was when I was in, like, the 3rd grade, and I just went up to my classmate. I think his name was Sergio, and I asked my classmate Sergio, like, "Hey, did you watch Empire Strikes Back on Spike last night?" And that's all I said. And then he just punched me in the eye. And obviously, like, when you're 9 years old, getting hit in the eye is the most painful thing on the planet.
Yeah, it's a big deal.
And then obviously I was, like, screaming because, again, it just, like, I just got sucker punched in the fucking eyeball. And then he just goes and does whatever. And then I just go up to this kid, and again, I'm like 8 or 9, and I just, like, slap his head, and he starts swinging at me, and then I just hit his head against, like, a little beam. And it was one of those things where, like, the teachers broke it up, and they're like, "What the hell is going on?" I'm like, he just punched me in the eye. and he just acted like that was fine. I was like, no. Now again, like was pushing his head against a beam a little too far. Yeah, and again, he wasn't deadly. Like it wasn't like stitches or injury or anything like that. But it was still it was like it's more than just punching. It's like smashing a kid's head, or punching a kid's head into a fucking metal pole.
Yeah.
And again, because the only reason why I did not get in trouble was because he's the one that started it and threw the first punch. Were you somebody like when you got into fights? Were you somebody that got beat up a lot as a kid, or was it like how did it go for you?
I got beat up and bullied for the first time in either kindergarten or first grade. I can't remember which one it was.
Do you remember what it was about, or is it just because kids?
Yeah,
are
there
assholes?
was this fifth grader on the bus, and he would steal my lunch money every day.
Oh fuck!
And I had told on him. I told my dad on him, and I thought in my head my dad was going to tell me how to whoop his ass.
Right.
But then one of my parents called the school and complained. And the next day when I got on the bus, the bully was even more pissed.
As they do.
Because someone had told on him, and there was no repercussion.
Right.
Not that I think there should have been. I don't know.
Sure.
But so he whipped my ass worse that day. And then the next day, I decided, I guess this is in my hands now. So I filled up my little money pouch thing that I brought my lunch money in with pennies. And when he came at me, I just threw it as hard as I could in his face. And,
Oh, Jesus.
and that was a good shot. And then we just started kind of going at it, but he was crying. And then this other big kid finally broke it up. And he told me to sit next to him for the rest of the year. And I did. And that was the last time I got beat up by him.
That's awesome.
But yeah, I had bullies and stuff. And pretty quickly I realized my reaction to getting hit was, I'm going to hit you back harder. And I couldn't let it go.
Right.
Within the moment.
Right.
And so I think that's a good disposition for getting into that, because I don't really care about getting hit so much. And then I never liked fighting people I liked, but I did like fighting people I didn't like.
Yeah.
And as I did more and more of that, going through high school and stuff, every now and then you run into somebody a lot bigger and badder. And I'm not the biggest guy. So there were certain ass whoopings where it was like, oh, I need to figure out actually how to do this. And then when I was in college, I started going to this boxing gym in Washington, D.C., and one thing led to another.
Yeah, because where originally are you from?
I'm originally from the East Coast. I went back and forth between Virginia and Maryland a couple times. And then from there I went to Florida, and from there I went to Chicago. And then I moved out here for about a year, and then I moved to Seattle for a few months, back to Virginia, and then back out here for the last 10 years.
Yeah, because I'm from San Bruno originally, and then I moved to Amador County right before 6th grade. So obviously when you go from city kid to, small town, it's a complete difference. Like, especially just in terms of how in Amador County, how far away everything is. Where I was, it's airport's 5 minutes away. The mall is a 4-minute drive down the hill, all this stuff. And then it's just a complete 180. Now, again, I got bullied a lot up in Amador County also. It's not like things were any different because I was still a fat kid.
Sure.
Who just watched a lot of movies. And again, it's not that I didn't want to play sports. It's just that they didn't have the sports I liked. So like if Amador County, especially in middle school and high school, if they had lacrosse, if they had hockey, or if they had some form of an X Games type team, where again, if it was BMX, skateboarding, whatever, I would have done that. It's just that with small towns, it's football, basketball, baseball, soccer,
That's
and
all they got money for.
that's it.
Yep.
And I've seen in some high schools down here, especially in the Sac area, who are yeah, we have lacrosse, we have all these things. I'm and again, I guess obviously again, city schools just have access to certain things that just small town high schools just don't.
For sure. And I don't know about you, but in my moving, especially as a kid, well, not especially as a kid, but it was hardest as a kid, probably because I had the least practice. But every time you move, you're starting over as far as meeting friends,
right?
Stuff like that. And something I felt about that time was that your friends were constantly evolving too, because when you first come to a place, the only guys that want to hang out with you are the misfits.
Right.
And then you realize some of them are misfits for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want them anywhere near you, but you also realize some of them are really cool.
Mm-hmm.
And then you end up landing on the people that are really your friend group, and then you got to go and start all over. And it's probably one of the reasons why I really got into movies, because when you first go someplace and not many people are asking you to hang out,
Yeah.
you watch a lot of movies, and then it was a way that I would try to bond with my mom, who loved movies.
Yeah, like for me, like that was like my icebreaker. Was people are like, "Oh my god, you know about this?" And then it's like, so it's kind of like how, so people like, so people think I have like people think I'm on the spectrum. It might I don't know if I am, but it's just I just have a really good photographic memory when it comes to certain things I know a lot about. And it's one of those things also where like school wise, like I did okay. Like I graduated somehow. Somehow graduated high school with a 3.5 because for the most part like my grades were kind of shitty. Because I was one of those kids who like I don't know if this is officially ADD or not, but it's like the handful of subjects I was good at, but then the rest of them it would take me like 3 hours almost to read 25 pages.
Couldn't get it.
And again, it's not like I wasn't trying. Like I was like reading these pages over and over and over again to the point where I was like freaking out because it's like I have a test on this tomorrow and I'm trying to read this, but it's like it's been 45 minutes and I've done 2 pages.
Yeah.
And then when you go to college and again because I never wanted to go, my mom made me go because it's like you need to go to school because she at the time she was like you had nothing going on. And again, it's just because it's not that. Here's the thing. It's not that I'm against education. I fully acknowledge like it can lead to some great things. There are people I know who like crush at school, and I'm super happy for them. Like a buddy of mine is now now the 9th grade math teacher at our old high school, and I think that is super cool. And again, I wish I had that, but I just never did. I don't know if it was just because of the setting or if it's just like my lack of interest. Like if I stay in the Bay Area and gone to, I forget the name of the school, but there was a performing arts high school in Oakland where like Zendaya went there, Angus Cloud went there, like it's like the performing arts school of the Bay. And I don't know, maybe if I just gone to a school that was like for a lot of my interests, maybe I would have succeeded.
Really lit up your
brain. It would have succeeded more.
Yeah.
And then like when I was a kid, I kind of got into motorcycles, but also in motocross. But that was because my dad was just like, you were gonna ride motorcycles whether you like it or not. And my dad would make me sit on a Kawasaki or something and just go around for hours and hours and hours. But it's just like when somebody tries to force that on you, it's not fun anymore.
Sure.
And again, for all I know, like I'm not saying I would have like gotten to like motocross and like competed professionally, but it's like who knows? And I'm not saying I would have, but like who knows if I had not just been forced to do it. Mm-hmm. And martial arts wise, like I kind of knew when I was younger, and because my thing is like I know I like look out of shape, but it's like I can fight. People are looking at me and they're like, I know Danny's funny, but it's like Danny can definitely fuck somebody up because like, a lot of it is just the years and years of like bullying, abusive alcoholic father, and also my brother not liking me, and just a lot of the world. The fellas just shat on me all the time. Like I've talked about how in middle school, like right the week of graduation for 8th grade, my Facebook profile got hacked and somebody created this fake profile of mine where they were saying stuff. I never found out who it was, but they were just like, people thought this was me saying these things. So people were like, go fuck yourself, Danny, go kill yourself, blah, 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 blah. And I won't lie, part of me thought about it because it was just like, I was so unhappy. Like, I didn't want to be here. Like, right. I would have rather have been in the Bay instead of here. But it's like, and then I went to my reunion back in September, and like most people were like, dude, we don't remember a lot of it. We don't remember any of this shit. Like I was talking to one of my classmates who was like one of the only people that like believed like
you had a great time at that reunion. If I recall.
Oh, I fucking partied my ass off. Like I had watched American Reunion right before just I don't know, just kind of get in the headspace of like just get rid of the angst. And I intentionally was like Stifler times 1,000 that night, unintentionally, to the point where I was just like, oh, so-and-so, what the fuck have you been up to? And
Turned up.
Yeah, I was like revved up. And I was talking to the one person who like defended me during that time. He's like, oh my God, I don't even remember this. Like, I'm so sorry you went through that. I'm like, it just is what it is. Because again, kids that during the age, they're assholes. We all are assholes at some point during our youth, whether we realize it or not. And then me now as an adult, I'd rather call myself an asshole than call myself, because in my opinion, like anybody who tells people they're a good person, it's like no, they're not. Because I end up like I like to think of myself as like an asshole who has a heart with momentary gold. Like I'm somebody who, it's like if I find out a friend of mine just had a baby, it's like, oh hey, what's your mailing address? I'll happily like send you a little care package. You know, obviously not a lot, but you know, like a couple little books, a blanket, whatever. Because to me that just seems like common courtesy. So I just don't think about it. And then people are like, oh my god, you're so fucking nice. I'm like, I just don't like being called nice. Not that I think that's a weakness, but it's just people, so many in retrospect, so many girls have said you're such a nice guy, but it's like but then
It's almost like a trigger for you.
it's a trigger because so somebody who I had talked with for 4 months or so, she was just perfect for me in every way. Just we liked a lot of the same stuff. And it just fizzled out. She just constantly just said like, oh, you know, you're so nice, you're so awesome, blah 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 blah. And I was like, I can't take any more of this. You know, and again, like I don't know like if you've had any situations like that, but for me it was just like just all constantly just fuck.
I kind of have had the opposite experience. Like you in Fantasyland, you probably have loved my experience, but I'm not. I'm not that nice.
Right. Well, I'm not saying right as in sure, but you know what I mean.
And I don't really care. But people will tell you that are close to me that I'm like the nicest guy in the world to people I care about.
Right.
Like, and I like my circle to be somewhat small, but I've been told to the point that I believe it that like I'll do anything for someone I really care about, but I don't go out of my way to make people like me.
No.
And I have had a couple of girlfriends that were like my favorite, so I really cared what they thought. Say independently, I like that you're not very nice because it makes me feel even more special how kind you are to me. And so I didn't have to deal with that, oh, you're such a nice guy thing. And I can see how that would be infuriating.
And again, I get a lot of it also is because of my appearance and everything. Because it's like, listen, like I get people said, oh, Danny, you're not.
Because it's like, what are you supposed to be? You're supposed to be a piece of shit?
Yeah, no, it's like, and it's like, yeah, I like there were times where I even said, you know what, I'm just gonna be a fucking asshole for today and see how it is.
Yeah, and people aren't gonna like that.
No, and then to the point where like some people, like especially at work, or sometimes people are just like, when like Danny's quiet today, like is everything okay? Just because I'm normally just like, oh hey, what's up? How you doing? What's going on? Blah 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 blah. So then when people see like, oh, like Danny's like quiet, Danny just looks pissed. Like who pissed Danny off today? And again, it's to the point where like so, you know, like my boss or something would have to pull me aside and be like, are you good? Like what's up? Like what's going on? And then, you know, then I'll say it, and then I'll just say, here's what's going on with today. It's like I remember on Thanksgiving 2024. I don't know if you remember who Chris Robledo is. He was I don't even know if you met him, but he was a slow rising comic. He was like 21, if not maybe 20 years old, and I met him on Thanksgiving Day. He had passed away in a river rafting accident. And I remember we were all in the scene. We were all just shocked by it. And my boss was looking at me, and because I'm a janitor, so I was waiting to do a bathroom check, and I saw it on my phone, and I just looked like just catatonic. And my boss was like, "Are you okay?" I was just like, "I don't know." I mean, again, I didn't know him super well, but I was just like, "Hey, like a buddy of mine died. I just found it out just now." And people were just like, "Oh my god, are you okay?" I'm like, "I just don't know how to process that," and I don't know, like, because I don't want to like cry at work.
Sure.
The only time I've ever like truly cried at work was when it was just nonstop shit going on, and to the point. Then the one that really tipped it off, and I think even that day I had smashed a clipboard. I then replaced it the next day because if you break it, you buy it. It was because I was just trying to clean the bathroom, and it doesn't take very long to do. It takes 90 seconds, and this guy was just like saying, "Hey, if you don't get out of here, I'm gonna piss all over this fucking floor."
Jesus.
And I was like, I am not going to lose my shit. I'm not going to get fired over just yelling at somebody who was threatening to piss on the floor. I just like, fine, get out. Fine, I'll go.
Right.
And then I just blew off steam in the engine room where like it just so that nobody can hear me because it's a lot of like, you know, it's the engine room. So it's like a lot of pipes and going off and shit. So that was the only time where I kind of like just kind of borderline lost it at work.
I've been in some loud engine rooms. I used to clean ships like aircraft carriers. Some big motors in there.
Oh yeah, and there are times where like that's like the one place where you can like truly just it's like if you need to scream it out,
You
just
can
scream
hide.
it out.
You can hide in there. Yeah.
Yeah, and then because I never weirdly like one of the things that you and I got to talk about is just like movies. I had no idea like you were such a movie fan, and a lot of people what I find weird is that people are like, oh man, like I'm worried about like you seem like kind of like scared to talk to. I'm like, why? I'm like, just because I'm very knowledgeable doesn't mean I'm like you know I'm gonna like come at you at a million miles an hour.
Sure.
Like I remember like I won't say this is who this was, but it's like I went on their podcast and they said, I don't know if I could handle you one on one. I'm like, why? Like you just ask me a question and I'll respond. And if we're talking about the subject and I know a little bit about it, I'll give you like 3 to 5 random fun facts. Like that's how I give my answers. And for whatever reason, people just think like, oh, yeah, Danny's like a lot. I'm like, I don't think I am. Like I don't think so.
I'm a firm believer that the most important thing for a person to be is just real. Mm-hmm. If somebody's a piece of shit or a sociopath, you'd like them to be real so you can know, so you can stay away from her, so you can lock them up. And if somebody's a nice person or not a mean person or whatever it may be, we were talking about relationships a minute ago, or girls you were talking to.
Yeah.
Right. There are, just statistically speaking, there are enough of the right people out there that you'll run into the right person that can appreciate that.
Yeah.
And a lot of times for a guy or a girl, there might be a certain stage of their life where they don't appreciate the good things in someone. And then a few years later, they do. Mm-hmm. And they are ready for that, whatever it may be. But I don't know. I think when people try to be something they're not, it just never really hits right.
Yeah.
And people sense that. And they're never going to really get the best of what might be in store for them.
Right.
That's what I think.
Yeah. And then Flip, how are we doing on time right now?
Sitting at 27. You're good.
Right on. And then usually this is about a time where we kind of get into our subject. And honestly, because it's a movie podcast, and obviously you talked about like watching movies with your mom, and I'm curious, like, do you have any memorable like movie theater going experiences from when you were a kid? Like, because obviously, because you're like, I don't think you're like that much older than me, but I there's enough of a gap to where like I know like obviously you probably had video stores a little bit more longer than I did, and also like I think it's like some of the, especially like for 90s wise, I imagine like some of the bigger events that come out in like the late 80s, early 90s, you probably saw like a handful of those, like with a packed house. Do you remember like a handful of those?
I didn't grow up poor.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really know how not poor I grew up.
Mm-hmm.
My family was kind of secretive about that.
Sure.
But we did a lot of poor stuff.
Oh, okay.
And my mom used to take, she had, especially with this girlfriend she had, like platonic. Like
Yeah.
She had some kids, and my mom had, my sister and I. And they would take us to this dollar movie theater.
Yeah, I went to have all those.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, like
it's when stuff would, I guess, come out on video right before, but it had already been having its major run, and then it would go to the cheap place.
Yeah, Sunrise Mall in Citrus Heights. That the theater in there was that where it's like, hey, $4, and these movies have been out for like a while. You know when a movie's done badly when it's there on week 3 or 4.
Okay.
Yeah, so like I remember like that. I don't know if you ever saw this movie called Transcendence, where Johnny Depp uploads his consciousness into a computer.
Yes.
Okay, so this movie came and went.
Yeah,
and
it was based on Ray Kurzweil.
Yeah. And so then, and that movie was in like week 3 of the box office, and it was already at the Sunrise Mall Theater. I'm just like, because at
This isn't good.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I have a distinct memory of seeing Dumb and Dumber there.
Oh wow,
And that was the shit.
And I got to go see Dumb and Dumber in the theater for on April Fool's Day 2024, and I've seen that movie so many times, and I will say that is like here's my top 3 comedies, and we could totally dive into this. My top 3, my number 1 all timer is Zoolander. My second one is Happy Gilmore, and my third one is Dumb and Dumber.
I think I saw Happy Gilmore at that theater too. Around that time, Tombstone and Ace Ventura were the holy grail. And my buddies and I watched Tombstone and Ace Ventura on VHS so much. So when we got to the theater and saw Dumb and Dumber, it was mind-blowing.
Sure.
It was just the greatest thing ever, and completely like not genre related, but I have a memory of going to this in Baltimore City, this theater called the Senator, which I don't know what the right word is for it, but it was an old theater like from the 50s where they had the curtain and everything.
Right.
And they had just kept it up and kept it going. But they did a showing of The Godfather, complete with the intermission. And I wasn't really watching a lot of adult movies, I don't think, at that time. I remember I thought it was pretty cool that my mom was taking me to see such a grown-up movie.
Yeah.
And she took me to see The Godfather, and that was a really formative experience to me, in part because it was, I guess I was just the right age, but it was the first time I remember watching a movie where I could really like pick up on, okay, there's something special about this direction, and there's something special about the pacing of this film, and there's certainly something special about these performances.
Right.
And the intermission was cool because like there was no rush. You know, I was able to sit and take it all in and get a little break.
Yeah.
And then, that's one that really sticks out for me.
Yeah, I mean, the last movie I could think of that had an intermission was, and it was fairly recently. I don't know if you've seen The Brutalist yet with Adrian Brody.
No.
No, so it's 3.5 hours, but the intermission was like, like roughly in between. It was like 15 minutes. And again, you can get up, you can stretch your legs, go to the bathroom, refill your concession. So, again, I went to the bathroom, refilled my drink, and then sat back down for the next hour, 40 minutes. And I will say that movie is 3.5 hours, but it flies by.
Sure.
And I'll say another example. People complain all the time that this movie was way too long. Killers of the Flower Moon.
Great movie.
Dude, including trailers, I was in there for 4 hours. I didn't go to the bathroom once.
Great movie.
And
it wasn't long enough.
No, and then because I don't know like what your family ancestry is, but my mom's side of the family is Choctaw. So obviously, like my mom, I keep saying, "Mom, you need to watch this movie," and she's like, I understand how important it is, but it's like I do not want to put myself through that.
Interesting.
And because I can only imagine, like, and I don't know fully extent to like to what how far back, like obviously I know my mom's and my family's ancestors went through the Trail of Tears and everything, but I don't know like to the extent of like, because I'm obviously that movie's with the Osage. I don't know like what to the extent like Choctaw women or being taken or killed on their land. I don't know the extent, and it's one where I totally get like, hey, this is sad, but at the same time, I think like you need to experience emotions in some form, even if it's just like for like 2 or 3 hours watching a movie.
That's why I watch half of the movies that I watch. That's why I watch horror movies, because I'm trying to feel something.
Right.
I have a hard time with that.
Yeah, and then there's certain times it's so weird how like sometimes like I will say like Avatar: The Way of Water, the second one was 3 hours and 12 minutes. Like it flew by pretty well.
I loved it.
Yeah, whereas like the most recent one, did you see the most recent one?
I haven't yet.
It's definitely, for me, in my opinion, the weakest one. I think it's still good because, again, visually it's stunning and everything, but maybe because I saw it at like 10 o'clock in the morning,
Sure.
but like it definitely felt like you could have trimmed maybe 20 minutes off of it.
I don't go to the theater often, but my girlfriend at the time and I went to the theater to see Avatar, and I just had the best time.
Yeah.
We went to Walmart beforehand, got hella snacks, like a variety.
Yeah.
And did you wear the glasses at that one?
Yeah.
We wore the glasses.
Yeah.
That was great.
Yeah.
And then I'd hear people be like, "That's whack." I was like, I don't get it. That was fun, and it had a message. I don't care if I agree with the message or not.
Yeah.
That was a good movie.
And I'll even say too, like when I was like, because I was born in '96, so '97 Titanic comes out, and obviously that was one of the ones where everybody had the double VHS, and I only saw it once from like beginning to end when I was a kid. It was always on TV, so you could catch little snippets of it here or there. For the 25th anniversary, it came out on Valentine's Day, and people were asking James Cameron why this day, and you're like, well, because during this 6 or however many months that was back when movies stayed in the theater for forever, especially if you're doing really well like Titanic was. Like the reason why they chose Valentine's Day is because Valentine's Day 1998 was their biggest box office day during the entire run of that movie, which is Valentine's Day. And I will say, gotten to see that movie in the theater and in 3D and everything, at 3 hours and 20 minutes, however long it is, I'm just like, this movie's fucking amazing. It's like I don't want to watch it all the time, but I watch it, I'm like, this movie's fucking incredible.
You can definitely watch it more than once.
Yeah, it's certain movies also. I don't know how you feel about this. Certain films, I I love so much, but I don't want to watch as much because I don't want to get tired of them.
Sure.
So like there are certain movies that I love, like I used to watch all the time as a kid, but I just don't watch them as much because I was worried like I don't want to like bore this one out. So weirdly enough, like the day before he passed, like when I was doing it at my last episode, I wore James Van Der Beek's Varsity Blues jersey that he was selling on his website, and I've been waiting and waiting and waiting for his next one, and it came finally like last week. And I will say, like, Varsity Blues is still my all-time favorite film, and people are just like, really? That one? Just because I've seen so much. And like I say, certain movies, like, hit you at the right time, right age.
Do you know what year that came out?
1999, January 1999.
All right.
And,
yeah, that movie had such an impact on the high school culture, because I was either a junior or senior in high school at the time.
Uh-huh.
That was a game changer. Mm-hmm. All the way down to the whipped cream bikini. Mm-hmm. That had not occurred to us.
Yeah.
And it became like my main mission in life to get a whipped cream bikini.
Yeah, and what's crazy is like
I almost said her name, but I'm gonna
no.
But thank you for the whipped cream bikini.
Yeah,
nice girl.
Yeah, I bet she was very lovely.
She was all right.
And what's crazy is like Eley Larder is like having this like career resurgence. I haven't watched Landman yet, but I hear it's amazing.
It's fantastic,
and I'm so happy for like what she's going through right now.
The only thing I personally like better that Tyler Sheridan's done are the offshoots of Yellowstone. Mm-hmm. What is it, 1923 and
1883, and then the new one just dropped, The Marshals.
Okay, I haven't started that one yet.
It just started on Sunday, and then the one that's coming up in a couple weeks stars Michelle Pfeiffer and Kurt Russell.
Great, can't wait. But yeah, Yellowstone. I mean, Landman is excellent. It's like the most perfect role ever for Billy Bob Thornton, and it's Eley Larder.
Yeah, she plays. Dude, I've loved her since I was a little kid, and I'm so happy.
Fantastic.
I haven't seen it yet, but I'm just so happy for all the attention she's getting for this role, because she's been in it for so long.
She out Demi Moore's Demi Moore,
and that is a tough.
Who's also in it.
Yeah,
you know.
And you know what's crazy? Also, they're neighbors.
Really?
They live in Idaho, and they live within like driving distance of each other. They hang out all the time.
Good for them.
Yeah, and you know what's crazy also is this is I don't know if you know about this. Taylor Sheridan is making a Call of Duty movie with Peter Berg.
Didn't know that. I'm sure that'll be.
Yeah, so he's writing it with Peter Berg, and then Peter Berg is going to direct it.
He's the guy for the job.
He's perfect.
Yeah.
But what's crazy is, because I don't know if you know, also Taylor Sheridan is leaving Paramount because he's going over to Universal.
So it's going to be bigger.
Yeah. So basically, just his deal with Paramount ends soon. So I imagine like they're trying to finish out those pages before his deal is over.
Sure.
And then for people who are wondering, like, what does that mean for shows that he's made on Paramount Plus? I'm like, unless he's going to wrap them all up in the next season, they'll probably go on without him, just because like that's how it goes. But again, he's also somebody who writes every single episode, and he rarely lets people in to work on his drafts. So I imagine unless he wants to hand it off to other people, he's probably going to wrap everything up right before he leaves for another studio.
Very interesting.
And what's crazy is that most people don't know, like, that guy, because my mom knew him as, like, you know, the sheriff on Sons of Anarchy. Like, he was an actor for a long time before he was just like, I don't like this anymore, I'm going to go write. And then all of a sudden he comes out with Sicario. And I'm like, fucking incredible.
Is there anybody like him? I mean, I can't like, think of. To me, Quentin Tarantino has the same, if not better quality, but he's only done feature films. The amount of minutes of stuff on screens that Taylor Sheridan has done it. I mean, who's done better than him?
I don't know. And then also what's crazy is also like Yellowstone shot on his ranch. So Paramount essentially paid him double money. So they had to pay. They paid him to shoot on his ranch.
He's got a nice ranch.
Yeah, and
good for him.
Yeah, and again, like that's like the ultimate story of like, hey, like I left another career and I started this, and now all of a sudden everybody just wants whatever I got to offer, and that is like probably has to be the greatest feeling on the planet.
Did you watch Mayor of Kingstown?
No, not yet, admittedly, but my mom loves that show.
I avoided it because I kind of avoid watching depressing stuff when I'm alone, and the whole thing feels like Batman, like it's so dark.
Right.
I just didn't want to look at all those dimly lit scenes, but then with the same girl I saw Avatar with. She introduced me to it, and gosh, turned me into a fan of Jeremy Renner. Fantastic story,
Yeah.
so gritty, and even though he has similar themes in his stuff, that it's distinct.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just Yellowstone with different characters and set pieces. It's a different feel. So is Landman. I don't know. I just find that guy so impressive.
Yeah, and then also and I forget, and just because like and this is like a random because there's a lot of stuff you can talk about, but like just because obviously like I know you do MMA and jiu-jitsu, and obviously because I don't want to say who you train with, but basically you train with some like very well-known fighters, and I'm curious like in your opinion, because I don't know if you got, I always thought like if I ever did an episode on like analysis on like what are the best portrayals of martial arts in film and television, I could think like probably you, but like is there any film or television you watch I think like this gets mixed martial arts and other forms of martial arts really down?
No.
And may I ask why?
Yeah, I just watched The Rock one, The Smashing Machine.
Yeah, is it good?
I don't know. I thought, just because what I had heard, I thought it was going to have some really realistic scenes. Mm-hmm. And then, respectfully, so much of the stuff that I would think would be simple to execute and do, and the fight scenes are just inside of a ring, which is the Pride ring, which was a Japan fighting league, because it's a biographical movie. Just dog shit. The problem is that people do not portray the amount of damage that people can take well. Mm-hmm. You see somebody get hit in a spot that I'm sure looks great on camera, but would knock someone out, mm-hmm. and they're just fine. Or you see them take an elbow to their temple that would cut their face open, mm-hmm. and then the next scene they don't even have a bruise. And then other things like somebody gets hit in the wrong place, and all of a sudden, he's just knocked out 5 guys with these bad punches. It just, the realism of like the consequences of the different strikes that you see people doing, whether they're kicks or punches, they're just like so off. And I get it to some degree for entertainment purposes, but you'd think at some point somebody would really want to make something realistic. There was this movie called Warrior.
I love that movie.
And that the guys did a great job of looking like they knew how to fight. Mm-hmm. Like the technique and stuff was mm-hmm. great, but the storyline was that the guy was fighting like multiple times a week.
Yeah.
And you need like a month to recover.
Yeah.
Maybe 2 months to recover from some of those fights that they were showing. Uh-huh. Like your body after going through one of those fights it's like you got hit by a truck.
Yeah.
You can't just walk normally the next day. You can't, it just doesn't work that way. And that frustrated me because mm-hmm. they did such a good job in the scenes, but the story ruined it.
And one thing I wanted to ask you about it, because I don't know how well how much television you watch, but Dana White has said the only accurate portrayal of MMA has been in the show Kingdom. Did you ever watch Kingdom?
Didn't watch it. Maybe that's why I didn't mention it.
Yeah, so it was the reason why most people didn't know about it is because it was on Audience Network, which obviously if you didn't have DirecTV, you didn't know what a lot of these shows were.
Okay.
And it had Frank Grillo in it, and obviously Frank Grillo knows how to fight. Mm-hmm. And then you had Jonathan Tucker, who obviously he's great in everything, but this is just the role where I'm like, he should have won every single award possible. And he's basically like a pit bull let loose into a ring. He's just an animal. And then I would say also Nick Jonas is incredible in it. His best work.
Of the Jonas Brothers?
Yeah, and he play because it's a family of mixed martial arts fighters, and his character is a closeted gay man, and then also it was just so good, and during COVID it got on Netflix, and it was the 3 seasons. And then in the second season, Natalie Martinez comes into it as a fighter, and she's great. And Paul Walter Hauser, who's now like everybody's favorite go-to character actor, this was like his first role where it was his first role that lasted more than like an episode or two.
Now I want to check it out.
Yeah, and I
But
don't.
so Dana's consistent with what I said.
Yeah,
Basically, nothing does it right.
Yeah, and then and it's one where like it's 3 seasons, it's 40 episodes, and it is just so good. And again, like my mom is one who it's like I tell you, hey, you gotta watch this, gotta watch this, gotta watch this, and she's like, I'm good. Like Kingdom was one of the only shows where I said you gotta watch this show, and then after like because like for her like within like Jonathan Tucker's character is introduced when Nick Jonas just opens the door and he's fucking a girl doggy style on a bed. So that's like, here's your introduction to this guy. But then like, I was like, hey, like once you get like, but like once you like really get into these episodes, like you are gonna fall in love with these characters, and just the fighting is really good and really intense, and the performances are just top notch, and it is just so great. And I would say like I don't know where it's streaming right now because that's the rights come and go, but
Okay.
it is fantastic.
Do you like Sylvester Stallone?
I do. I mean, obviously, like I would say, like obviously, Stallone is great. It's funny, people forget what a great actor he is because he does so many of these action movies. I'm like, he's somebody who like I would love to see doing Broadway because he is a true thespian.
I'm a big Sylvester Stallone fan.
Uh-huh.
I don't think he gets enough credit for his contributions. I mean, the guy, great actor,
Yeah,
has written so many very successful things. And the Rocky movies that he made later in life, I don't remember which numbers they were, but one was Rocky Balboa.
yeah, that was number 6, and then now that we're onto the Creed films where he's not involved in those anymore.
Those last Rocky films are some of my favorite movies. As really for the story, and he wrote them for the writing more than anything. But do you have an opinion on why he made his fight scenes so bullshit in the Rocky movies? Because the guy knows boxing. The guy has done a lot of training in a gym. The guy has been ringside at probably every major real fight in the last 50 years. And yet he does these things where the guys have no defense. They just stand there. They clock each other back and forth 100 times. Why do you think he does that? Is it just that general audiences are just that dumb, or they need that sort of drama versus what it would actually look like that maybe doesn't look as dramatic?
Honestly, I think it's a mixture of you wanna cater to like an audience who actually is analyzing the fight scenes, but then also I get how you're making a story that again is like, I mean, that first movie is famously like the most underdog story in Hollywood. Nobody wanted to make it, and the movie comes out and it's Rocky. I mean, like that's one of the few movies my mom wanted to go see in the theater as a kid. So like if I ever like, let's say hypothetically I achieve what I want to achieve and I work with Stallone, I'd be like, hey, like if I call my mom right now, like will you say hello to her? Because I think that's going to be one of the only times if I ever introduce my mother's celebrity and she's going to be at like a loss for words. So because of just that alone, right?
Sure.
But like, so I think about because when especially like I've noticed, especially like some of the ones where like 2, 3, and 4, I feel like are like the really poppy ones. Like 3 and 4 though, like not even 2. Like I would say 3 and 4, those two back to back are just super poppy. And again, I've noticed like a lot of those fights, it's a lot of just boom, 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 boom. It's like even if you're going at a speed, like your arms are gonna run out of gas. You cannot be going at this speed for 3 to 5 minutes. And I think it's just I don't know. I think it's one where he's trying to find the middle ground between both parties. And I just think like sometimes like I don't know. Like how'd you feel about the Creed films? Like did you not see them?
I think I turned the first one off. I don't know. Like I'm invested in Stallone, Michael B. Jordan. I'm cool with if like I dig what I'm watching, but the fight scene started and I was like, I'll knock this guy out.
Yeah.
This is silly.
Yeah, and but I will say though, acting wise, like in that just for that one scene in the locker in this locker room scene that he has with Michael B. Jordan, where it's basically like he's just giving up and he's like holding my tears. I'm like, he won every single award. Again, no offense to Mark Rylance, who's a terrific character actor. He won for Bridge of Spies, and I think everybody in the room was like expecting Stallone to win Best Supporting Actor for his role in Creed. Because again, it's one where I'm just like, I get Mark Rylance is a great actor, but I'm like, this should have went to fucking Stallone because he had won everything. Like when Stallone won Best Supporting Actor at the Golden Globes, and they started playing the dum dum ba na bum ba na ba, everybody was on their feet just going yes, like yes. And it's just, I don't know, and also obviously also like I think probably Stallone's best performance outside of Rocky Balboa is definitely, I would say, Copland.
Fantastic.
Because
didn't he do that basically for free too?
Pretty much. This is at the time where like because Flip, I don't know how well like your knowledge of Sylvester Stallone movies is, but have you seen Copland?
No, I have not.
Oh, dude, it's phenomenal.
Great movie. De Niro.
Yeah, De Niro, Harvey Keitel, Robert Patrick, Peter Berg's in it. And basically, this was James Mangold's second film. His first movie was this movie called Heavy. It's very independent. Pruitt Taylor Vince plays this very obese pizza maker, and the first woman to show him kindness ever is this new waitress played by a very young Liv Tyler. It's a great film. I don't know if it's still on Netflix or what, but it's just one that is just lost in the sphere because it was an independent movie. And so his second movie, Copland, that was a one where obviously famously that was like when Stallone was making probably $20 million a movie, and that's obviously $20 million in the 90s is $20 million. And he did this movie for, I'm sure, probably no more than like scale pay, because the movie was made for I think like $7 million.
Yeah.
And again, he's probably one who
wanted to be in it.
I think also because I think that was also one of the few times where like a director truly pushed him.
Yep.
Because I think like
played a fat guy,
and he gained like the 40 pounds or whatever it was. And then I remember, I guess there's a scene, it's a scene where De Niro was like, you blew it. So I guess he felt that De Niro was not giving it 100%. So he purposely, I think the story goes, he was purposely messing up his lines so that De Niro can get extra pissed. And so then when he does the scene and he lets out that, you fucking blew it, and then it cut, and Stallone was probably like, hey, just a heads up, I was just personally fucking to get you.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, that's the kind of guy where I'm like, I know he's making all this money on these action movies. I'm like, I would love to see this man on Broadway, but I think one of the reasons why it's not, because I don't know if most people know, Stallone has dyslexia.
Yep.
So I imagine that's one of the other reasons. Like, and also, I don't know if you know who John Hirschfeld is. He's a director.
No.
So he's known Stallone since 1967, and I think Hirschfeld was one of the bad guys in Cobra. Directed him in the third Escape Plan movies. No, minus the first one, those movies aren't very good, I don't think. But like basically, he's known him for that long. Back when I don't know what I think his birth name is Michael. I think, but then that was back when everybody's calling him not Sly. Everybody was calling him Michael. And the fact to see him like go from this evolution of like, hey, like here's the struggling actors, and now being Sylvester Stallone, I'm just like, I get why you were like the king, but it's just like I want him to do more stuff where it's like, I want more stuff where it's like he's getting pushed, and I want him to like do some of the stuff where it's like you were like these filmmakers, and I get why, because like obviously Bruce Willis, what was a director eater. I don't think Stallone is, by the way. Like Stallone is somebody who cares so much about the craft. He want to make everything better. Like I've seen these pictures on Rambo 5 where he's in the full getup, and
that's the vibe I've always
and he's doing rewrites on with a pen and paper on the tractor,
and like the Expendables, like he was letting everybody have a hand in input about what to do. They just, the things I've seen from behind they looked like they were having so much fun.
Except I will say,
didn't he break himself doing that?
I think he still has the bolt in his neck from when because it's a scene with Stone Cold. And he's like, come on,
yes.
and he really
and they
put
were
him
like,
through that
you
fucking
shouldn't
wall.
do that, and he was like, I have to do it.
Because Slip, I don't know if you've seen The Expendables, but it's this scene where him and Stone Cold are in this cave, and then Stone's just like, come on, and then Stallone's like, hit me, let's go.
Broke
and then,
his shit.
Dude, pulls him through a fucking wall, and I think he still has bolts in his neck from that, and that's like 15 years ago.
Insane.
I will say, though, have you seen all the Expendables movies?
All but the last one.
Expendables 4. And by the way, I was extra annoyed because this is directed by Scott Wall, who is a very accomplished stunt performer, second unit director. He's done action very well in some other movies. Like he co-directed Act of Valor, which again, I don't think it's a great film, but like the action sequences are really good. Need for Speed, again, not a great film, but the car stunts are all so good. Like there's a scene where Aaron Paul is just doing a drift, and then Scott Wall's like, okay, I want you to do the drift, and you're gonna hit right at this point, and he's like, and don't worry, I'm gonna be the one holding the camera, so you're gonna slide right into me. So I mean, imagine like Aaron Paul's fear of like, I do not want to hit my director with a fucking, I think it was like a Lamborghini. But again, because he's comes from the stunt world, he knows how much beats or per second he's gonna have to where the car's gonna stop. So then when he does Expendables 4, I'm like, oh, this is a home run.
It's going to be amazing.
And it's 95% green screen. And it's all shaky cam. The bad guy is Iko Uwais from The Raid. And the fight scene with him and Statham, it's still all shaky cam. And here's the dumbest part. So, do you want me to just tell you? Okay, Stallone dies. And then Statham goes into a depression, and then Andy Garcia is the new guy in charge of the Expendables, and he doesn't give the Expendables team lead to Jason Statham or Dolph Lundgren or Randy Couture. He gives it to Megan Fox, who is this agent who's done shit with the Expendables.
Dare I say that's a woke decision?
It's just one where I'm just like, this makes no sense.
Yeah.
And then I think the only one who has talked about movie not being good is Dolph Lundgren. He's like, yeah, no, the script wasn't good, blah blah blah. Like, yeah. And what's funny, this is the most expensive one at like $100 million, and the movie looks like shit. And I would say even 3 they messed out by making it PG-13. But Patrick Hughes, who I could tell has a love for action and stunts, even if a movie I know he's directed I don't think is great, these stunts are really good. Mm-hmm. Like Kellen, obviously, because I know this is not Kellen Lutz, because they would not let him do this. His character is on a motorcycle, and he does this ramp where he's like 20 stories in the air, and then you can tell this is somebody practically on a motorcycle going 60 miles an hour, going up this ramp, and you're going like 70, 80, 90 feet up, and then you grab onto a beam and then you slide through. And again, I can only imagine how many fucking days it took to shoot that, but I'm like, this is practically done. And which is why I'm so fucking glad they're finally like figuring out how to give an Oscars for stunts, because it's about fucking time. Mm-hmm. Because full disclosure, no offense, again, there are some actors who do their stunts, like again, Tom Cruise, Jet Li, Jackie Chan, Michelle Yeoh, amongst others, right? But it might frankly put, simply stunt people die making actors look cool. Which is why I'm just like, you guys deserve this fucking category.
Nobody ever gives them any credit. Yeah.
Dude, and which is why a lot of the times, like, you know, like, especially now, stunt people are getting more and more chances. Like Chad Stahelski has crushed it, much, by the way, I'm so happy what he's going to, I don't know how Highlander's going to be with his take, but I think it's going to be fucking awesome.
They're making Highlander?
Yeah, he's directing, and Henry Cavill is the lead, and Batista's the bad guy. And then David Leitch, who is crushed in his own right, and he's really found a stride of making action comedies. Like, obviously, I love what he did with Deadpool 2. Bullet Train was a blast. Fall Guy deserved so much better than what it got, because that movie is just such a great summer movie, and just nobody saw it.
I didn't see it.
But I was like, it's really good, though. It's Ryan Gosling, Emily Blunt. It's a really good time. I
love both of them.
Yeah, it's a great movie. I don't know what happened with that. Because it opened up the summer of 2024, and just nobody's. It did okay. Enough to where David Leitch is doing another movie right now for Amazon. So
Emily Blunt was in The Smashing Machine.
And I hear she's great.
She's fantastic.
Yeah, and then I'm curious also, like, because we're talking about horror a little bit. Like, what are some of your favorite horror movies?
Candyman.
How'd you feel about the one by Nia DaCosta that came out like 4 or 5 years ago? I really liked it. I think some people did not.
I wanted it to be the original one.
My biggest complaint is they were hyping up Tony Todd. Tony Todd's in it for a frame.
I have a very hard time with horror.
Mm-hmm.
I watch them.
Yeah.
Because I'm hoping that I'll get scared.
Uh-huh.
And also, if I get angry at a movie for not being scary or being stupid, at least I'm feeling something.
Yeah.
But the vast majority of horror movies lose me at some point. I don't care if it's like, I mean, I care, but it might be that people are trapped in a basement and they have their iPhones and no one just sends a text.
Right.
Or it might be that, you know, this demon is just like bullying weak people and like it never gives somebody that'll whip its ass a hard time. And see, that sounds ridiculous when I say it out loud, but something in most horror movies loses me, which is why I tend to find like dark psychological drama or thriller more terrifying.
Yeah, which is why I will say like Danny and Michael Philippou, they're all twin Australian filmmakers. They're from they're twin brothers.
Are they the ones that made the funny one?
I don't know. But they're the YouTube channel name. Their YouTube channel name is called Rocka Rocka. They did Talk to Me, which came out a few years ago. Then they also did Bring Her Back.
I saw Talk to Me.
Yeah, Talk to Me was great, and then Bring Her Back is a complete 180, and it is dark as shit and it's fucked up. But and because they were supposed to direct
Is it good?
It's amazing. They're supposed to direct Street Fighter. And then again, they were like, we were so happy for it. But then at the same time, then they were like, we really want to do this story. We're again, obviously not a lot of money, but it was like made for like $15 million. And we're like, and obviously Street Fighter, I don't know how much money that movie cost. I imagine it's minimum 80 to 90.
Sure.
But at the same time, they were like, we want to really go tell this. And I'm glad they did, because again, they would have crushed Street Fighter. And the director who they got to do it, I forget his name, but he directed Bad Trip, and he's directed a lot of really cool TV. I think he's going to do a great job. But like, they were like, hey, we want to go tell this very personal story we have, blah blah blah. And I watched this movie, I'm like, this movie is so good, this is so twisted, but
they were the ones that were on Rogan a few years ago, and
yeah
like they were on cocaine.
Yeah, they were, and they were just naturally that excited and pumped about everything.
I remember them. And
then Flip, how are we doing on time right now? About 5 minutes? All right. And then wrapping it up, I just want to say a few little other bullet points. Because we talked about like some of your favorite memorable experiences, but like, do you have like a handful? Like, if somebody says like, hey, what are some, like, if you could say like top 5 or top 10 favorite films, or one do you just really love? Like, can you name a handful?
Big Lebowski.
Great.
Forrest Gump.
Amazing. I will say that as I've gotten older, I've despised Jenny.
She was fearful, avoidant, who was very toxic.
Yes, and then I think also like she was afraid of somebody loving her, like you did, yeah.
Much more comfortable living in the mud, being treated poorly, versus having real love and fucking it up, because she just did not believe that she was of value and wouldn't put in the work. So really, she was a coward.
Wow. Did you ever read that book? I was based on a book, and I heard it's a completely different. Is it really different from the movie?
Yeah. I mean, they all are.
Yeah. Because I've heard that one's just. And you know what's funny is like, do you know who's supposed to actually direct? Obviously, Zemeckis did a great job with it back in the day, but you know who's supposed to do that movie? Barry Sonnenfeld. The guy who did the Men in Black movies and the Addams Family films, because he just did a book where he talked about movies that just
it would have made it very different.
Oh, he was also supposed to direct the Muhammad Ali biopic with Will Smith that Michael Mann did, but he talks a lot about these movies. I kind of
liked. Fight scenes sucked.
And then what are some of your other ones that you could think of?
Like Tombstone a lot.
Tombstone is, I think, probably the most rewatchable Western in the entire Western subgenre. It's just so entertaining, such an amazing cast.
I like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood a lot.
I need to definitely, like, that's one where, like, I'm also somebody who is, like, how I was saying, I don't watch certain movies to rewatch as much, but there are certain scenes where I will watch over and over and over again. That's
one of the only movies I've bought in my life. I like Kill Bill a lot.
Oh, did you see
all of them?
I like all of them. I was going to say, did you see the full 4.5 hour cut when it got released in theaters back in December? Oh my God, it was so amazing.
No.
And I totally forgot Sandler's buddy Loughran is in the hospital. He's the guy that pays to have sex with her when she's in a coma. And then I watched this movie and I'm like, oh my God, is that Loughran? And for those who are wondering, like, who's Loughran? Like, in Adam Sandler movies, he's the guy with with either the big eyes or the cross eyes. And I'm like, what the fuck is he doing in here? Like, obviously, I know they did scenes together in Little Nicky. I imagine that's probably how.
Yeah.
But it was just like, why the fuck is Loughran in here?
Small world behind the scenes.
Yeah.
I think that's probably good with that. There are, like, even you mentioned Ryan Gosling. There are moments of, what's it called? The Place Behind the Pines?
Place Beyond the Pines. I love that movie so much.
There are moments of that movie and The Notebook that they're just... I like those moments better than I like a lot of movies that I like.
Yeah,
in totality.
And have you seen Drive?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that is one of the top 5 best opening credit sequences of all time.
I love L.A.
Yeah.
I love LA in movies. That's one of the reasons why I love Once Upon a Time in LA.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just love that stuff. I romanticized California growing up, and it's neat being able to live here as an adult and have gotten to, like for instance, be at the Comedy Store in Hollywood and be walking outside at 1 a.m. because like LA really is LA, and that's pretty cool. Unless you hate that stuff, but I don't.
Yeah.
I hate the dark side of some things, but I don't take part in that.
Yeah.
You know that as a comic, there's a lot of darkness in comedy. You just need to be able to walk away from it and go home.
Oh, for sure. And then, because what I was saying about Drive also is, like, I guess that was one of the last times where LA still had its original light system before they got fully replaced.
I just saw that. Then they went to LED and it changed the color, right?
Yeah. And I watched this scene. I'm like, Flip, have you seen Drive at all or no?
No.
Oh my god, it's awesome! And that movie got so fucked. It's a great movie that got fucked in its marketing because they made it look like a generic action movie, which it is not. And I will say,
no, it's almost like I don't know the right word for it, but like art.
It's neo noir, but the problem is they were trying to make it look like this very like standard action movie.
Speaking of, I like Sin City a lot.
Sin City, I really love. Do you like the second one or not so much?
Not as much.
I didn't love the second one as much, but I just like watching that world.
I like I like the aesthetic. I like all that stuff. Probably because Sin City was the first one.
Yeah,
that's the one that I really.
And I'm trying to like, and then I know you said some of the ones you really loved. Like, do you have like certain directors you're a massive fan of?
Massive is a strong word,
sure.
But I'm on the bandwagon thinking that Quentin Tarantino is like one of the best of our times.
Sure.
Martin Scorsese.
Sure.
I wonder what happened with fucking who's the guy that did the not Brian De Palma. He's got wineries and
Francis Ford Coppola.
Yeah, I wonder what happened with him because
So
I adored a lot of his stuff, and then I was like, "What drugs were you on?"
I
'Cause
don't
I don't like your movies anymore.
So did you see Megalopolis, the one that
that's when I was
okay.
No.
So I did. Just because obviously now it's like you can't stream it or get anywhere because I get it. He owns it. He paid for it. He's gonna show it around and do screenings. Here I was like, that movie is just a colossal. Just what the fuck is this? But at the same time, I'm like, it's Francis Ford Coppola making what he wanted to make, and because of who he is, he gets who he wants to get. But I do want to watch that documentary about the making of it because that's one where I'm like, I want to be a fly on the wall. And you watch these clips where he's going at it with Shia LaBeouf.
Yeah.
And here's the thing: it's like when you get Shia LaBeouf, he's one of the most committed motherfuckers on the planet.
Motherfucker, yeah.
So I don't know if you know who David Ayer is, but he wrote. Yeah, okay. So did you watch Tax Collector?
Yeah.
Yeah, so a lot of people did not like it. I feel like one of the few
it.
that did. So he famously tatted his entire chest for that film. And David Ayer's like, yeah, like this guy is, and what's really cool.
And
also,
he joined a gang.
Yeah. And what's funny also, like that guy, that director follows me on Twitter, which I was like super happy because I love that guy. But he's like, he just said like, this is the most what's the right word? Like not authentic, but like just like the most like passionate or just most, he will do whatever it takes for a role. Like he literally ripped a tooth out for Fury. He slashed his face every day for continuity. He didn't shower for 8 months.
How about that?
Devoted is the right word. Devoted. And
I know we got to wrap it up, but
Yeah.
one, just a theory. This interview that's going viral with Shia LaBeouf, I have a theory that it's a bit, and he's going to have a movie coming out pretty soon, and there's going to be continuity between the self he was portraying in this interview and the character. Just theory.
Yeah.
And throw one more director in there.
Go ahead.
Sylvester Stallone sans boxing fight scenes.
Yeah, and I'll say like one movie he directed that I really love. I forget the name of it. It's not one of the Rocky films. I forget some of the other movies he's directed, but I will say I think he directed Cobra, and I really liked Cobra. It's a good genre horror. It's
all the Rambos, including the later ones, which I think are fantastic.
Rambo 4 kicked a lot of ass, and he didn't direct it, but Rambo 5 was even really good. And I will say also, like, a lot of people give Shia LaBeouf a lot of shit. Don't get me wrong, he's fucked up a lot. Yeah. He owns that shit.
Great artist.
But I will say like, again, did you see Honey Boy? He's talked about how I thought he was phenomenal in that, and he has said that wasn't that, like, he admitted he lied about his shit with his dad. But it's like, I don't care.
Talk about a movie that makes you feel something. That movie made me feel uncomfortable, but in retrospect, I appreciated it because it brought me in.
And you know what's funny? I did a double feature that day, and I did the most other random ass movie with that on that double feature, Paul Feig's Last Christmas. And it's just the most 180.
Some contrast there.
Yeah, extreme contrast. And as we wrap this up, Patrick, you've been really good to me, and I don't take it for granted. It's just one of those things where when people like take an interest in me or like to talk to me, I'm just like, I don't know why, but I appreciate that you've always been cool to me. You're always just like, hey, keep successing, like 100%, like just keep doing your thing. And because there are times where I deal with a lot of self-doubt, and I've told you about this, and then I say, I don't think I'm gonna get to this. I'm like, you never know, like, like it may take a little bit more time, but like just give it time. Like I imagine you probably didn't think you'd be like hitting where you were like at this age, like within like the amount of time. Yeah, and that's also one of the things where like I appreciate that you've always been cool to me. Like in my opinion, you don't have to. You can easily be a dick to me, but it's like I appreciate that you've always been cool to me.
Well, look, I like the fact that you're real, that you actually know about stuff that's interesting. Like, I don't like dorks. Would you say you're a bit of a nerd?
I'm like mixture of that. So it's like
I'm a bit of a nerd.
Yeah, I'm a bit of a nerd too.
I like nerds because I know about stuff.
Yeah.
And you go for things, and you're out there, and you treat everybody right.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're a lot more interesting of a person than a lot of people. So yeah, when I saw you were doing this and it was about movies and stuff, I was like, well, I think it'd be fun to talk to him about movies. And I'm nobody that special, but it'd be good to go on and put my name with it, so maybe it helps a little bit as far as
and also because do you do a ton of podcasts? I don't know if you do.
I did a podcast regularly for about 5 years, and then this summer my life just completely went off the rails, and I just stopped, and I've been I know I need to bring it back because that's just something you need to do in comedy. But I have recorded 3 episodes about my dog.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. She was so sweet.
Each time I record one, it's too personal. I don't want to share.
Yeah.
So I haven't put it out. And every week I pick out a couple of days when I'm going to record one, and then I just don't do it.
Yeah, and
it's coming.
Yeah, and then and Dooley was her name, right?
That's right.
Yeah, she the handful of times I got around there, she was just such a sweet dog.
She was very special.
Yeah, like I like obviously I'm sure I could tell like she loved people like she was very much like my dog. As mine is a pit black lab mix. Like he's the most gentle giant ever, I loved like whenever, even if I had something in my pocket, I appreciated. She always like wanted to like say hello to me, and and she was very like letting me pet her and just like scratch under her chin a little bit, and she was just. When I saw that she was gone, I really felt for her just because like that was just such a sweet girl.
Yeah, she was my everything.
I know, buddy, and just remember though, like even though like she's always in here, and I know you have some beautiful photos with her, and it makes me think about like because my dog is getting up there, and I want to just do some last stuff with him.
Do those things, take those pictures, get those videos.
Yeah, well, yeah, and I think that is a wonderful place to end this really insightful podcast I was not expecting to have with Patrick Eley. And if you were wondering, like, where's this guy going? He is going to just the top of 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 the top. And for that, I thank you for coming. And this has been really a pleasure, buddy.
Right back at you.
Yeah, thank you very much, everybody. If you like this episode, give it a comment. What did you like about it? If you're new to the channel, give it a subscribe. I do random clips like this all the time, and I'll go into random rants about other shit. Thank you very much, everybody, and have a good rest of your day. Thank you.